Hi, hello, and welcome back, everybody, to Sakura Dungeon. Last time, we finished exploring the 17th floor, and today we're going to start off the episode by meeting a couple of our new teammates. We'll start with the nature spirit. I have also often talked with nature spirits in the past. They are an unusual breed, to say the least. What I find especially unusual is that they are occupying my dungeon. Are they there of their own volition? Has the dungeon lord done some sort of deal with them? I cannot tell. Perhaps I will find some answers if I consult with her myself. So you've come here, says the forest spirit, as I knew you would. Her voice is akin to listening to a gentle rain pouring through a forest canopy. It's been so long since I've heard the voice of a forest spirit. So, Yomi says, for what purpose does a spirit such as yourself serve that dungeon lord, she asks. To oppose her would mean the destruction of the entire land, says the forest spirit. We are the voices of this land, so we find ourselves lacking in better choices, says the forest spirit. You either bow your head or you lose your head. She has blackmailed you into service then, Yomi says. Yes, the forest spirit replies. Although, this is not what I would choose. Even if this land is decimated, as long as we live, says the forest spirit, there may be a chance for us to heal it. But if she destroys us, then what hope is there? The forest spirit asks. Tell me, spirit, Yomi says. What would you suppose would happen if she lost? Yomi asks. I doubt that such an outcome is possible at this point, says the forest spirit. But I'm listening. That is the outcome I'm aiming for, Yomi says. But surely that outcome would be more likely if I had your support. Well, says the forest spirit, I cannot go back. I am only a few steps away from the forest I love so much. She looks longingly out the tiny window of her cell. Nature calls me back, says the forest spirit, so I will support you. Ah, okay. And here we go with the one I really wanted to add to our team. The Nine-Tailed is an arrogant fox spirit. With good reason, few can withstand the powerful magic the spirit can conjure. Big facts. Yes, I would. I have a long history with nine-tailed fox spirits. Back in my homelands, they all belonged to a noble house that had fully integrated itself with human civilization. The fact that they have been called here by this new dungeon lord, it can only mean that there is something very big about to happen. The influence of this dungeon lord has also reached far in my absence. There are many intriguing things which have happened, many intriguing things. However, I can wonder about that later. I needed to negotiate with this arrogant spirit first. There you are, says the nine-tailed fox spirit. I knew you could not ignore me for long. Yes, says Yomi. I know what you are too well. But what of you? Asked the nine-tailed fox. It is obvious who is the stronger one here. Yet I only see one tail. You must come from a far more ancient lineage than me, says the nine-tailed fox. I have always considered lineage to be meaningless dribble, Yomi says. Ultimately, we are the master of our own fates. So strong that you carve your own fate, the nine-tailed fox says. You are indeed an interesting spirit. She looks me up and down. What purpose does a spirit such as you have here? Asks the nine-tailed fox. It's not in the interest of monsters to cooperate. I'm sorry. Is it? Okay. Edit that crap out. Is it not in the interest of monsters to cooperate? Asked the nine-tailed fox. I am afraid that the dungeon lord and I have a disagreement, says Yomi. So I'm going to take this dungeon from them. And what will you do after that? Asked the nine-tailed fox. I prefer peace instead of war, Yomi replies. And it is obvious what the dungeon lord's intentions are. And you desire my aid to achieve these goals? Asked the nine-tailed fox. Exactly, Yomi replies. I would normally think you foolish to say that you can defeat the Dungeon Lord, says the Nine-Tailed Fox, but something about you makes me believe you. Very well, you shall have my utmost support, the Nine-Tailed Fox says. Excellent. Alright, let's swap around the party a little bit. Fox Miko out, and... Sorry, Fox Knight. You're getting dropped already. Just because... I don't think I'll keep the Forest Spirit in for long. I'll probably swap her back out, but... I like to use new people, you know? See what they're about before I just cast them to the wayside. Alright, everybody. I will see you at the stairs to the 18th floor. Welcome back. Alright. As promised, we are here at the entrance to the 18th floor. Alright, let's see what this event has for us. These dark depths, Siri says. Is there any end to them? She asks. Siri looks around miserably at the cold, uncaring stone walls. The dungeon should have ended by now, Yomi says. I suppose this is where my memories are even more useless than they were before, Yomi says. So, the Dungeon Lord has made extensions, Siri asks. That is the only conclusion I can come to, Yomi says. But for what purpose would they? Yomi asks. The forces the Dungeon Lord commands now must be far larger than the ones I had in my time. And that is fairly grave news for the surrounding human kingdoms, Yomi says. Well, I guess we gotta do what we gotta do. And we gotta explore this floor. It's definitely a bit strange. We hear metal scraping across stone. I don't like the sound of that, Siri says. Then we hear a loud bang. Okay, sorry. I'm hearing things in my own house as I read this. Then we hear a loud bang. Siri nearly jumps out of her skin. What was that? Siri asks. It's just some noise, Sylve says. What's there to worry about? I'm more than prepared for anything that comes our way. Another loud bang echoes through the hallway. Okay, Sylve says. That's a little unnerving. What? Can't you stand a little loud noise? Says the Hammer Warrior. I like her. I like that hammer. That's pretty cool. Some intruders you are, says the Hammer Warrior. Nice hammer you have there, Yomi says. You shouldn't swing it around carelessly. Eh? Why not, says the Hammer Warrior. She slams her hammer into the wall next to her. The wall around her breaks. The walls around here break all the time. It's nothing to be worried about, says the Hammer Warrior. I hope you lot can stand up to my hammer better than that wall can. Oh. I am very interested in getting her. I'm sorry, nature spirit, but you're going to be bumped before you know it. A little water word to finish you off. Triple slashes. We'll go big. And then combust will be good. Yeah. Alright. Here's where we need to be careful. Okay, she can take a few hits. I like that. Of course, she's not a mage, so it makes sense. Alright. You're gonna curb me. Ooh, that was big damage. You can skip. And here we go for the capture. Ooh, she actually survived. And she got a bunch of health back. Doubt that's enough. Oh wow, critted. Okay. And I think I captured her. So, now that we've captured her, what do you think she is? Siri asks. I would guess another warrior spirit, Yomi replies. Warrior spirits can manifest weapons and are naturally inclined to conflict. So I would say that it is a fair presumption, Sylve says. That is interesting and all, but, Siri says, She didn't seem as valiant as the other ones we met. Warrior spirits can come in all shapes and sizes, Siri, Yomi tells her. They embody the emotions that warriors feel in battle. So I would guess that she is the pleasure that one gets from mindless destruction, Yomi says. I do not like the sound of that at all, Siri says. Neither do I, Sylve admits. Don't worry, Yomi says. Warriors are still warriors, and they all know the difference between friend and foe. She will be a very powerful ally, Yomi says. Okay, cool. Got ourselves a new friend, and we have found a barrel with nothing inside. Alright, just making sure there ain't nothing hidden. Alright, let's see what our map looks like so far. I see. This is going to be an interesting looking floor. For sure. Hey, an event. And we can also just go right through this. Uh-oh. Yomi has been stripped. That is an issue. I'll be sure to fix it before we get to the event. Alright. Fixing this. Cool. Alright. Let's get the forest spirit out front, because I don't know how long she'll be here. Excuse me. As we enter the room, we find what appears to be a camp. Look at the fire, Siri says. It's still roaring. That means whoever is occupying this place isn't far away. Siri begins rummaging through the items scattered around the fire. What are you looking for, Siri asks. Clues as to who might be here, Siri replies. She nods to herself as she continues to investigate. There's nothing too out of the ordinary here, Siri says. Cooking utensils, a sewing kit, a medicine chest with herbs. Basically everything an adventurer would need when far away from home, Siri says. So that can only lead me to one conclusion. Whoever is in here isn't a native of the dungeon. Maybe there is someone else who has been trying to defeat the dungeon lord, Siri says. But the question is, who? And why, Yomi says. It would be inevitable that the dungeon lord would come across opposition regardless of how strong they are. Damned right there would be opposition, says the mysterious voice. A fox knight walks into the space, a sack flung over her shoulder. I swear, I can't even go on a quest without someone going through my belongings, says the fox knight. So, sorry about that. I just needed to know who was here, Siri says. You could have just waited until I came back, says the fox knight. I wonder where they even found wood down here, asks the fox spirit. Forest spirit, sorry. I brought my own, but supplies are beginning to dwindle, says the fox knight. The torches around here also make good kindling. Merely a powerless single-tail, says the nine-tailed fox. How boring. An arrogant nine-tails. How surprising, says the fox knight. A monster on a quest, Sylve asks? Well, it's not exactly unusual, she admits. There are many elven adventurers in the metropolis. But a fox spirit, she asks? I will just ignore the comments from your party, says the fox knight. Either way, what is a human doing here? Asks the fox knight. This dungeon is not a place for the average adventurer to tackle. I think you will find that average is not a word that should be used to describe us, Yomi says. We've made it this far, after all. Sure, says the fox knight. But what are you going to do from here? I have been stuck on this floor for a long time now. Stuck here, asks Siri. Does that mean you can't clear out the dungeon? She asks. Exactly, says the fox knight. I'm part of a monsters adventurer guild. We've known about this place for some time, says the fox knight. I was sent alone to deal with things here. Alas, we've vastly underestimated how strong the monsters would be. So, here I am. I had no idea such a guild even existed, Siri says. Well, we have shared interest in the continued survival of human kingdoms. Anyway, I'm afraid that I don't like it when people go through my things, says the fox knight. So I suggest you leave. This is no work for amateurs. I'm no amateur, Siri retorts back. It seems Siri's pride has been insulted. Perhaps this fox needs some humbling. Yeah, I'll fight her. Insulting Siri like that is rather rude. If you believe us to be amateurs, Yomi says, why not prove your superiority? Why not then, the Fox Knight replies. She pulls out her sword and gives it a quick polish. The difference between us will be made readily apparent in just a few moments, says the Fox Knight. I've been wanting a good fight for a while, she says. So, you had better not disappoint me. I think the only one who's going to be disappointed is you, Siri says, when I make you eat your own words. Big facts. Oh, okay. I mean, I will admit, it's not like she's a pushover. Do a mana drain. But it's not like she's a pushover, but still. This ain't gonna be hard. True strike. Alright. Hey, there it is. We're stripped. We in there, boys. And it's over. As quick as that. So am I still an amateur, Siri asked. I told you that I would make you eat your own words. Amateur. Perhaps a violent brute? Definitely, says the Fox Knight. Sounds like I need to introduce you to my rope, Yomi says. Eh? What do you mean by that? Asks the Fox Knight. Pulling out from my robe, Siri just stares at me. Heard on robe. I see. Her rope, indeed. In a few moments, I have secured the rope around the Fox Knight and suspended her in the air. She struggles against it, but lacks the strength to do anything at the moment. What is the point of this humiliation? Asked the Fox Knight. I demand that you release me from this right now. You need a humiliating experience or two, Yomi replies. Siri here used to be just like you are, full of herself, careless in who she would insult. So, I do not care if you hail from one guild or another, Yomi says. Being presumptuous of your own power is going to be your downfall. What are you, my mother? Asks the Fox Knight. I do not need a complete stranger to scold me for perceived flaws. She nearly slips out of the bindings before I readjust it. That's not going to work, Yomi says. So, are you going to apologize to Siri for being so rude? Yomi asks. I am the victim here, the Fox Knight says. You bumbled into my camp and carelessly flung my things around. How do you think I would find another cooking pot if you stole it? Asked the Fox Knight. Isn't it your own fault for going far too deep? Yomi asked. After all, part of expedition planning is not going beyond your means, Yomi says. It's true, if you were really thinking this through, Siri says, you would have planned a means of escape. But now you're trapped here, Siri says. Fine, I'm wrong, says the Fox Knight. Can you let me down now? I can't exactly work out a way to escape this place if I'm tied up like this, she says. Well, technically you can, says Yomi, but it would probably be quite difficult. Siri leans over to whisper in my ear. Do you think we could help her out? Siri asks. Of course, Yomi says. I will admit one thing, says the Fox Knight. I was wrong to call you amateurs. Not only make it down this far, but you defeated me as well, says the Fox Knight. So at the very least, I admit your superiority. That's all I wanted to hear, Yomi says. I slip a warp stone into one of her hands. What is this object? Asks the Fox Knight. It will take you back to the surface, Yomi says. I see, the Fox Knight replies. Nothing else can be done then, she says. Sure enough, the warp stone flashes and she's gone. She left her things behind, Siri says. I don't want to be rude, but there might be something that can help us, Siri says. Siri digs through her belongings and finds... The seed is cold to the touch, Siri says. It might be another resistance seed. That it is, Siri, says Yomi. Heard on an ice resistance seed. If I go back in here, room empty, Fox Knight gone. Alright, everybody, I'm going to call it here for this episode. As always, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time whenever we continue exploring the 18th floor.